Hey there, it's Jen, and I'm here with another layout for the Hip Kit Club. Today I am doing a layout inspired by the mood board for March, and I will insert a picture here so that you can see what it looks like. But what I'm actually doing is taking a hint from the actual mood board itself, so the fact that it's in a grid, and I'm going to use the outside edges of this Pink Fresh Studio set of frames. I punched all of the frames out, and I'm going to use this as a home for my photos and my embellishments on today's layout. So
all right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I thought I was going to use that aqua colored paper that came in the colored or the cardstock add-on for my background, but I decided against it. I went and grabbed a square punch, and it's just a slight bit smaller than the squares for those openings in the frame, but I am going to use it anyway. It doesn't matter to me if it's exact. And I'm just punching out these 3 photos of Irit. She doesn't know I'm making this layout, so hopefully she loves her face plastered all over my Hip Kit design team project. And so what I did was just cut 2 of those off. I decided since I had 3 photos, I wanted to use just 6 of the frames, and I'm going to do it vertically like this. And I placed my photos so that where she's looking to the left or the right, she's looking into the page, and I thought that was important. Then I also decided to grab a few of the papers and punch them out and see if I wanted to place them in the squares. And I'm contemplating that now. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm contemplating that, and I kind of like the way that it looks, but I end up going a different direction with this. And the other night I sat and cut up my entire papers of the 2 Flower Market papers from Cartabella that came in February's kit. And I am going to turn to those in just a second. I fussy cut all of the florals out of them, and it took me a while, but I'm so glad that I did it because this layout came together so quickly because of it. So at this point in time, I'm thinking of calling the layout Colorful Irit. And so I put out the word colorful on my wax paper, and then I thought maybe I'll do my colorful friend. I don't know, it just wasn't jiving with me. And so I liked the word gather and that it was black, but it just didn't work for the layout, so that was unfortunate. But I'm going to go ahead and use the word colorful, and you'll see in just a minute here. So I'm grabbing some of those florals that I fussy cut, and I'm using the ones that are from the paper that had the blue background. There were 2 of them. One had larger florals and one had smaller ones, and I'm going to use the ones that are from the larger floral. And I'm just kind of tucking them into the frame, and the florals had I cut off the edges on some of them, like they were on the edge of the paper, and so they kind of tuck into the frame really nicely. So at this point I've kind of decided the direction I'm going, and I'm just going to start gluing things down before I get any further, because that gets annoying when you get everything down and then have to pull it all up. I kind of already got to that point where it's annoying, but that's okay. So I'm just gluing down the frame first with some liquid glue, and I've got that in my fine line bottle, and I'm just placing the frames towards the top left of the layout, and I'm going to put my photos behind the frame. So it actually worked out nicely that the photos were a little bit smaller, because I was able to glue down the frame and then add the photos in, and you can hardly tell, and I think it looks just fine. So here I'm kind of tucking those flowers back in. I didn't place that flower the way that I originally had it, and I kind of wish I would have now looking at it, because you can see that that pink flower is the same as the one on the top, and I don't like that they're lined up like that. But it's too late now, so whatever. So I decide to cut out that word beauty from the pattern paper that has all of the words on it. It's from Pink Fresh Studio, and I will cut out a couple more words from that as well. And I really like the way those words end up looking on the layout. So I'm going to put the word colorful in this little white space in the bottom little opening here. And I'm going to make sure that I put blue in a few other places as well. So that's why I've got that blue bow, which is from Pink Fresh Ephemera pack. And then or embellishment pack, I guess. And then I'm going to use that word beauty that I cut out, and now I'm looking for some more words that I can cut out. So I'm just kind of trying to find words that describe Irit to me. So I did wonderful, and I'm also going to do, I can't remember what the other word is, charming or something like that, charm. And this layout is just about how when I think of Irit, I think of color and I think of her bright smile, and I was so glad to meet her in person and just see that she is just as wonderful and charming in real life as she is on the YouTubes. So that was fun. So I'm just trying to figure out what words I want to do. For a tiny second, I thought about trying to cut out the letters to spell out Irit's name. Because I was really trying to just stick to the kit and not pull anything from my stash, but I just decided to have my title just be colorful, and that was enough. And so the other words will go on there, but I don't create any more title. It's just going to be colorful. So I'm looking through the Cartabella die cuts here, and I'm trying to decide if I want to use some of them to maybe write some journaling. I pulled out that black piece thinking that it would be nice to do my journaling on it, and then I thought maybe I should put my title on it, but I really like the way that it fits down in the bottom. And then I cut it up and thought maybe I should use it like that. And I thought if I use it like that and it's just poking out the side, do I need to have some flowers on it so that it kind of ties in with the other side? And I don't really love the way that's looking. So I'm just kind of going back and forth here, trying to make up my dang mind. And I can't. And so I'm just going to start gluing some stuff down because I'm not sure what I want to do about the journaling yet. So I'll just glue some stuff down. And I put one of those words in each of those open squares. So each of the open squares has some florals, some words, and then I'm also going to make it so that now you can see each one has some blue in it because I have blue in the title, blue in that bow, and then I put some enamel dots in that center one. So here I grabbed the word die cut magical, and then truly, I think it says truly wondrous on that little chipboard piece, and I'm thinking that maybe I'll put those there and put my journaling beneath it. And I'm really glad I wrote it in pencil first because I really didn't like the way that looked. And so at this point I decided to go to my typewriter and type up my journaling. I don't know, I was looking for something different. So I typed it up. I'm really glad that I did. And I'm going to put my journaling above those two little die cuts. So I am going to have those stick out to the side there and rest my journaling above them. And I think that ends up working. At first I was thinking it would be nice to keep everything contained within that grid, but I like the way that it looks with just the little bit of journaling and those couple of die cuts on the side. And then in a minute here, I am going to do something to help balance, because I have everything's really heavily weighted to the left. I'll do something here in a second to help balance it out a little bit. So I'm just cutting up the strips and sticking them down, making them different lengths so that they don't all end in the same spot. I don't want them to be justified. And I thought about moving that chipboard piece up, but decide against it. I'm kind of thinking that I need something above the journaling, but I end up not worrying about that. I do at this point though decide to put a couple other enamel dot colors, and I sprinkle some more throughout those I keep saying I'm sorry about that throughout those squares. So here's what I'm doing to balance all of that. I'm going to use this black and white paper, which I know Irit loves black and white stripes, and so that just kind of reminded me of her. So I just ripped a piece out of the side of my white cardstock and then put the black and white stripes behind it, kind of ruffled it up, and then I stapled it with some gold staples. And I'm just going to add a little bit of Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine to finish it off, and that kind of fills in that space for me as well. So there's some close-up photos coming up. I hope that you enjoyed. You can find these photos over on the Hip Kit blog. I will leave a link in the video description, and be sure to check out the March kits. Mine are on their way, and I cannot wait to crack into them. They are so glorious. So my next video will probably be using those. Thanks so much. Here are a couple other videos you might enjoy, and hit subscribe if you don't already. And be sure to subscribe to the Hip Kit YouTube as well. I will post videos there that will not be found on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here again very soon.